Thank you, man.
Yeah, appreciate it.
We in the tiger den.
That's right, baby.
Whoa, no, bro. What was that?
Tiger, bro. It's just like
That's not a tiger, bro. Nah, the way you did it, the way you did it. Nah, don't try to change it now, man. It's so...
Can I just say before we start the interview that I just want to get this on camera and give you your flowers real quick.
Yeah, thanks, man.
When I was going through a bunch of stuff with my family, you were one of the people that reached out to me privately and said, "Hey, man, I'm going to stop by your house. I just want to help you out." And I didn't really know you that well. And you came and you handed me a wad of cash, and me and my wife were getting ready to fly out to North Carolina to my son's visitation.
That's right,
and you came and did that for me. And I never got to thank you on a big enough platform. So I want to do that on your platform. I knew right then though, I'm like, yeah, this dude's business is going to be crazy because if he does that for somebody that he barely knows, I know he's going to treat his customers right. So I just want to thank you on your podcast before we get started.
Yeah, thank you.
And you can cut that up however you want.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man.
Yo, that's powerful. Wow.
Yeah. You know what? Back in those days, D, I just did things. I was just like, if I was just surveying the city, and I'm like, if I can make an impact somewhere, in one small thing, I'll keep compounding those results. And,
well, it definitely helped out because we had so many financial things going on. We're still dealing with my parents, so it's just it was so clutch and
that was your father, was it?
That was my son, but we we bought flights the day of to fly to North Carolina last minute. It just came in so clutch. So I appreciate that, man.
Wow. Yeah, you're so welcome. Yeah. And it's good to reconnect again, man.
Sorry, man.
Close that door.
Man, what's this dude doing? Hey, man, pause, man. What was that?
It was Dusty, man. I saw little tears.
I don't no tears in my face, man. I don't think Dusty's you, man.
So let's get into intros. I've got with me today Mario Canon and Dee Mill. And I want you guys to describe yourselves from your own perspective. What are you guys into? Let's hear it all.
For me, I'm into just helping people, man. I'm into being an inspiration. So music, of course, is my passion. Of course, fitness, right? Music, fitness, motivational speaking, and just helping others. Helping others be dope. Teaching people to use their brain as a tool of fortitude and peace. So that's what I like to do, man. I like to build. Yeah, for sure.
I've been around the Peoria area for years and years in the music community primarily. And, I stopped urging to be on stage as much. So I started trying to, help other artists and started management companies and, booking agencies and kind of helping younger artists, get a platform and get kind of the skills that they might not ever come across, that took me a lifetime to, and I like to give back to, but right now I'm back to playing music.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Now, do you guys go way back? Are you guys friends from old days?
No, just 7 years.
Okay.
We met him on his podcast.
There you go.
Yeah, he came on my podcast. We did almost 400 episodes during COVID, where I was bringing artists from all over the Midwest, St. Louis, Chicago, Wisconsin. They were all coming to my house at that time, and we had a studio, and we were letting people hear their music, get to know them as artists. I used my platform to put them on, and he came on. And the first time he came on was on my birthday, and he stayed 2 hours after the interview, and we just hung out, and he was freestyling. We were just hanging out like bros, we've been homies forever.
Yeah.
And then we've been locked in ever since.
Good energy, man. Good synergy for sure.
Yeah. Now, Mario, you said you were into fitness.
Yeah, for sure.
I couldn't tell when you walked in the door.
I man. I got to tell you because a lot of people don't know this, but yeah. So no, I've been on Anytime Fitness. I've been at this for a decade now, actually 10 years in the game. Started off as a personal trainer and manager, and then within a year and a half, I bought the gym I was working at. So, and I used that to finance my music career.
That's incredible.
So, because I knew that ever since, I knew the concept even earlier in my stages in music that you had to have money. You had to finance your own career. Nobody's going to, invest in your dream if you don't. So I knew that from the beginning. So everything I do business-wise is to make sure I can fund my passion. Yeah. So.
And your passion of music and acting, Has that been has acting came after music, and is that something that did music come on like when you were early in your career?
Yeah, music was the first thing. I've always did music even as a kid, right? But the acting kind of fell into my hands more into college and working with like LaRoyce Hawkins from Chicago PD. I did some plays in college and I really liked it. So I did some local films before I actually got on national television. But yeah, man, I always was in arts and entertainment. So for sure. Is
that a tough thing for somebody as I perceive to be a macho man?
Yeah.
It's like you're strong. You're strong, you're bold. And so getting into acting, is that a difficult transition to be more vulnerable on stage where you're, acting in front of people?
You have to learn to deal with rejection. Like, I would say that, far as it being difficult, it was difficult for me just getting used to being told no a lot. Right. Because at the particular time when I really got onto national television, I was having a good run locally in the music scene. Mm-hmm. Like we're packing out our own shows right now, so I'm feeling myself. And then you jump into the acting world, and I'm a nobody. Like at this time, I'm doing background. Sleeping in my car, eating the Crafties. That's real talk, man.
And now looking back on that, with the success you've had, is that an interesting perception that you have of yourself of how far you've made it?
Yeah, but I still have more to do. But yeah, I kind of try not to dwell on the past, and I want to keep my foot forward. But I'm also grateful for what's in front of me right now and what I have done. So I don't forget about it. I just don't live through it either. Like I'm looking for the next level to inspire others, because when you're stagnant, you're not growing anymore, right? Yes. So you want to continue to grow so you can lead others.
For sure. And so for you guys in this tour coming up is it May?
May 24th.
May starts the tour.
Is the first big show.
And that's in where?
It's in Peoria. It's going to be at Temple Live, Peoria, which is the old Scottish Rite Cathedral down by Obed and Isaac's.
That place is still open for music.
It's reopened by new management. So Temple Live is in there now, and they're throwing shows. They just opened last month. We got a bunch of good shows. Go to templelive.com. They got a bunch of shows listed, but ours is May 24th, Saturday night, Memorial Day.
And that's going to kick off a tour that's going to go multiple cities?
Oh, right now we're plotting multiple one-offs is what it's looking like. So we've got, some offers from some big festivals and some big weekends. Like yesterday I saw an email from MLB All-Star Weekend, so we've got some stuff. We've got some stuff that we're going to focus on and go where we're wanted, I guess.
Mm-hmm. What was the first big break in your career, Mario, that happened? That was like something happened. Email comes in, phone call comes in. You're like, I think I'm on the precipice of something huge.
On the music side, wow. I think my big break, honestly, I was a shorty. In Springfield, for me, what made me really hungry is when I was a kid, I got to open up for Soulja Boy, and that's when he was just hot at the time.
He was cranking that Soulja Boy.
He was cranking a Soulja Boy, man. And I got to perform at the Prairie Capital Convention Center, and that's huge for a local dude, right? And so I do this show. I even do the commercial for the show. I'm dealing with a promo team. I had to do the commercial locally and all this stuff. And the days leading up to the show, I had a crew at the time. We all had matching outfits. And I promise you, dude, we kill it on stage, because I've always been gifted with the music. I've just always had a gift of just sounds. But we killed it. Like, we just did our thing. Dude, the girls are throwing flowers at us on stage. And I know they brought those for Soulja Boy, but they gave some to us, right? And I was like, I could do this. This is it. That was one of the biggest moments of my career early. And as of recent, I would say my biggest wow was, it had to be either the Twista taking me on tour with him, man. Twista, I got to meet, like, open up for 50 Cent and Lauryn Hill, and he just took me under his wing, and I was like, this is it. This is it right here. But I always wanted more. But yeah, those two big pivotal moments for me.
For somebody who's never experienced that before, when you started that process, is it as you expected? Was it better than you expected? Was it not as good as what you would have expected? What's the feeling when you get backstage and you're starting to meet these people?
At first, like, you can't believe it. You're like, wow.
Surreal.
Am I supposed to be here?
Yeah.
And then after a while, you realize I'm supposed to be here. Mm. And so you try to make sure that you're focused and you're still hungry and you're delivering, because at the same time, even though you're backstage with these people and you're mingling with them, you still got a job to do yourself, right? You got to consider yourself one of them and not a fan anymore, because I remember sitting in that same crowd at the Legends of Hip Hop tour the year before. I remember buying a ticket to go to the show. Not even a thought in my mind the next year I was going to be on that exact same stage in St. Louis with, Scarface and Twista and all those people. Bun B, 8Ball, MJG,
Mystical,
Coast Twista. I never thought because I had went and seen it the year before Juvenile. I had went and seen it the year before. Now I wasn't even thinking about, man, next year I'm going to be on that stage. Yeah. And then next year I was on that stage.
That's surreal. There's got to be some imposter syndrome that happens there where you're like, am I supposed to be here? Am I as talented as these people?
Yeah. And
then as you continue on, people give you your flowers and you're starting to see like, okay.
Yeah. The self-doubt was definitely like, what the heck am I doing? Because, your immediate peer group from when you probably like your hometown or something, they're not going to, they probably won't be as flattered, as like newcomers will be like, who's that cool guy? So
they know you as the 12-year-old kid.
I remember him. He used to fart. Like, what are you talking about, man? Everybody used to fart. They still do. Like they bring up like, when he was 12, he fell off his bike and skinned his knee.
Yeah.
Messed up knee. Like I was 12, bro. The
quote goes, we're the average of the top 5 people that we surround ourselves with. And so as we start to move, unless your group if your group moves with you and you can grow together, that's a beautiful thing. But sometimes you outgrow people and it's like you've got to transition into different groups.
This industry is like notorious for outgrowing people.
Is it?
I mean, yeah, it's just like you said, people aren't prepared to go where you're trying to go to, and it's either a weight or it's freeing when you find people that are like-minded. Because I mean, like I get up at 5:30 every morning, work out every morning. Like, you know what I mean? Like we have like a regiment of like life that, so like I don't hang out with people that wake up at 2 in the afternoon, but I'm like that's what I've found, especially in this.
Yeah. The roofing industry is similar where there's kind of like, there's revenue targets and there's employee sets of like there's certain places you have to go. There's a certain growth pattern where it starts in like 0 to 1 million, 1 to 3 million, 3 to 5 million, then 5 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 50. There's these growth patterns that you can kind of see with other companies and where they develop. And so you have to consistently not only be thankful for the success you've had as you grow, but always look forward to see, okay, where am I going? What's the next target? What's the next employee I need to hire? So in the rap industry and the acting industry, is it similar where you kind of see a path forward as to where to go, or is it kind of just make it up as you wake up?
It's almost like make it up as you wake. And also you can see the pattern, but the pattern is just you being consistent. You don't never know, when it's your time, but you'll know. You understand?
Yes.
And so there's not a true way to pick the trajectory for success in this industry other than hard work, consistency, and luck. And that's the honest truth. You got to surround yourself with people who are in the industry. And there's a lot of people who aren't in the industry who say they're in the industry. So you have to learn, the hard way. And they always say experiences is life's best teacher. That's very important, honestly.
Yeah. So when you meet people like 50 Cent, to me, how I perceive him is he's obviously started his rap career with, music we used to listen to back in high school. But now he's transitioned to a businessman. Yeah. So you probably met 50 on the set of Power.
No, I met 50. I was opening for him at a show in Chicago, actually. So I met him then, and also I did some auditions for him and some script readings. And I got booked for Power, and I got dropped right before they were going to start filming it. I don't know if they did away with the part or the role, but I was on like the first refusal list, which means like, hey, you can't accept any jobs right now because, they're 50 Cent's going to book you, for the show. So, but I just met him in Chicago when I opened up for him that time. And then a few other times I opened up for him, I didn't get a chance to meet him, because it was just like a crazy show or whatnot. But yeah, I did get to meet him in Chicago though. It was cool.
What's that experience like?
It was surreal because he's an idol, right? Like 50 Cent you can't talk about hip hop right now without mentioning 50 Cent.
Right.
So that was an experience, man, in itself. This is energy and his presence alone, how he carried himself. And I was like, man, I need to model myself after this dude. This dude is stoic. He's poised. There's a lot of commotion going on around him, and he doesn't seem bothered. And I said, I need to model myself after that.
When you walk through the door, I'm not gonna lie, you have an aura about yourself. You're a physically a demanding specimen with how tall and how, but like, yeah, I feel like you bring the same presence of you're a serious person.
Thank you.
That you're going someplace.
Yeah.
This is not just like something to. This is not just a side hobby.
No, this is something that I feel like I'm really good at, and I feel like people really need to hear something different, and it really kind of breaks the lines of the music that people are used to. You can't put it into a category right now because it's just, you don't know what it is.
Now, we were speaking off camera earlier today about how many kids do you have?
2.
You have 2.
Yeah.
And you said your daughter listens to your music.
Yeah.
So you've got to be careful about the lyrics you use, about how you speak, because you know your daughter's going to be showing the music to her friends.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is that in the back of your mind when you're recording stuff?
Yes, it is. And I don't let it hold me back from the artistic approach. But I make sure that I'm empowering and I'm uplifting people. So in my music, even if it gets dark, you'll never hear me mention women in a derogatory manner or me influence or insinuating any type of harm to another person in any way. You know, I'm all about growth and overcoming triumph and things like that. Things that are going to move people. Things that make you dance, feel good, and also things that are going to motivate you to get you back in focus, because we all need realignment sometimes.
Big time.
So that's what I'm about. Even if I do use profanity, I'm using it in a way to hype up whatever I'm saying, but never to demean anything or anybody.
Sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Your target audience for your music is there like a category? I've heard like music DJs or radio DJs say that they have somebody in the back of their mind they're talking to as they speak. Are you speaking to young men like yourself growing up? Like, is that who you're trying to motivate to change their lives? Everybody.
So there's not even a particular target group right now for me, because I have people of all walks of life they love what I do. I had a lady in her upper 60s messaged me on a video, said, "This is amazing. I love this song you did," because I redid Phil Collins' "In the Air" live. And so then, you know, because we have such an array of sounds and instrumentations and deliveries coming from a hip hop background, doing alternative in whatever form of alternative you want to call this, it's just naturally easy for me, man. I've already cranked out like 30, 40 songs. Wow. I don't even have to write them. It's
the music he wants to be doing right now. And it's a huge risk to take to walk away from an industry where you've already had some success in hip hop and you're progressing. And then you say, you know, I don't like the way this is, you know, portraying this negatively. I don't like how this is affecting my community. I don't like how this is, you know, causing kids to do this in neighborhoods. Like, all those things make you walk away like as a conscious person, right? So this music is him kind of, you know, trying to raise the consciousness of like the universe. So it's kind of universal, because we're trying to get other people than just like people that look like me and him to listen to this music, but listen to the message, listen to the lyrics. It's like, I talk to him every day. So I relate. These are our conversations musically. It's where he's at mentally right now. And some people in hip hop, they just can't understand it. So why would you do that? Why would you give that up? You're right there at the door. Like, but because of his experience, that's why he's, you know, moving to this. This is what he wants to do.
I was just going to say that, Dee. That's not a common expression in rap music at all. I mean, the rap music that I hear when I'm driving on the street and somebody's got a strong beat playing and stuff, it's usually very almost demonic type music that's happening.
It is. It's just, that's it right there. Yeah. You said it.
And so does it feel, do you feel alone sometimes producing music like you do?
Absolutely. I get a lot of resistance, but then I have creatives like, you know, Dee Mill. I got, you know,
there's a movement going on too.
Yeah.
Like not just here, but collectively. We know a lot of artists that are putting this stuff into the universe. They're trying to combat like the state of the music industry, you know, like, because there's no doubt that like it's just got way out of control. Like the violence, the, you know, the
everything, man,
sexual content, like everything. Like,
these guys are literally living their raps now, like literally recording music that is putting them in harm's way and in their family.
Yeah.
and guys are getting killed, and there's RICO cases, and these are all the rappers. Like, there's all kinds of stuff going in the industry. And so if people, like, maybe one day, like, you're kind of a visionary in the roofing game, right? Maybe like 6 months from now, people are going to be like, oh, those guys knew what they were doing. You know what I'm saying? We're kind of using basically him as the vehicle to try to wake some people up.
Not only that, like, you can sleep at night knowing that you're not harming the community you're trying to raise up.
Absolutely.
Right? And so what is the benefit of destroying the culture or destroying people in the wake of making money?
How much time do you have? Yeah. Because for that, you have to go to the very, very top, which we won't get into on your podcast because we don't want to get your taken down. Yeah. But I mean, it's the people that control what hits the radio waves. And like, you know, if you look at what they do and don't allow on radio, that kind of tells you, like, it's like, well, why would you not be able to rap about this, but you can rap about, you know, pharmaceuticals or something? You know, like, well, you know, so yeah, I think it's the people that are allowing it. But what's happening in the music industry is a lot of these people that have been in the industry for years, they're sick of it. So they're kind of standing up. And so, like, it's a time for independent artists that stand on stuff inside their heart and their soul to kind of rise up. And that's kind of going on right now. So it's like, it's a good wave to be on, you know.
Let's get into that. So I feel like I listen to a lot of different artists from different genres, and there seems to be more so than ever a battle between independent artists versus major label artists. And the major labels, not to get too deep into that sector, but it seems like they take a large cut up front. They're taking essentially your music rights for decades and then sharing a little piece of that towards the back end. And independent artists are obviously the exact opposite, but you're not funded. That's why, like you said earlier, it's really important to be self-funded so you can do what you want to do.
Absolutely. Yeah. You know how many artists are famous and popular, and they don't have financial resources like they appear to have on the screen? You know, I've seen it firsthand. You know, I will never put anyone's business out, but I've seen it firsthand. I've seen how they struggle financially, but they have every amenity you could imagine around them, and they're not happy, and they're not making the music they really want to make, and they're not even writing their songs. Even my first time in LA, I remember recording in the studio, and I already had my I'm ready to go, and they're like, "We got the reference tracks and stuff right here." It's like, "No, I just got my own music. I don't need to." You know, they would have somebody already do the song. You just redo the song. You just rap over the song or sing over the song with somebody else already. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but I'm saying, what if that didn't align with me? What if that wasn't really my vision?
And I think that happens. They get guys to rap about stuff. That's exactly what I was just talking about. They get guys to rap about stuff. You know, Future raps about drugs that he doesn't even do himself. Like, I know the guy. You know what I mean? Like, which is crazy.
Shout out to Future, man. I don't want no smoke, but
I mean that's well known. It's like, you know, they promote, you know, those kind of themes in music. And it's like, well, why?
Music is
what happened to Tipper Gore?
I know what's happening in my life by the music that I listen to. And man, if I'm autopiloting on stuff that's bad or negative, it's like I know something's wrong up here that I'm almost reinforcing to the music I listen to. And the opposite is also true.
Wow. Oh, I never thought about that.
I listen to, like, at the studio, I listen to a lot of rap, a lot of hip hop. I listen to a lot of mainstream, like, and then one day I just shut my radio off. I just cruised around quiet for 5 days. Like,
that happens a lot in the roofing industry as well. Is people pay marketers to market their business. Okay, so like, and marketers are expensive. They'll work on Google and SEO and all this other stuff, but they'll expect them almost to do all the work. And you can't pay someone else to market your own business. You have to be your own force. You can have people come alongside you and accelerate that growth, but you can't rely on somebody else. To your point earlier, you can't rely on somebody else to build your career for you.
No.
You've got to have motion yourself.
Yeah, that's true. 100%. 100%.
Yeah. I find I a lot of times when people have come on and tried to represent my brand, they move in a way that isn't conducive to how I move for my own brand. So then it's like you said, they're not going to have your vision at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And so it ends up just being me doing it anyway, like as far as marketing, and like, or I have to hold somebody's hand and say, hey, could you, make a better graphic? Could you,
Yes.
because our brand has a certain swag to it already, so we don't want to go backwards.
So looking towards this year, like you started music and acting in what years, Mario?
I've been doing it since 2004, 5. I mean, I've been there since I was a kid.
20 years.
I never stopped.
He was on Empire in 2019.
19.
2019 I was on Empire, for sure.
And what was that experience like? That who's the main actor there? Is it Terrence Howard?
Terrence Howard.
Okay, yeah. Why are you laughing?
Oh, man.
He's a character?
Yeah, Terrence Howard's cool, man. It's crazy because I've interviewed about this a few times, how he kind of treated me a little differently on set. I don't know. His energy was off towards me. Everybody else loved me, though. I had a great relationship with everybody, but him in particular was weird, man. Just a different vibe. I don't know what it was, but
he was hating.
I don't like to call him a hater, but he did treat me differently. I expected to be treated better from him because I looked up to him. And after that, I just kind of was like, man, I don't know if I want to be around this guy ever again.
There's a saying, don't meet your heroes.
Yeah.
You've heard that before?
True.
It's like once you meet
true,
people.
But the same goes, sometimes they end up being like your best friends and like the most down-to-earth people. And those are the people that I would say are still in my life, the people that I've, acquired over the years that I still can pick up the phone and still show up at a Lupe Fiasco show. Like these are people that I've known.
Cake Push, baby.
Oh yeah. Long before that though. Like,
yeah.
His original engineer is from Morton, Illinois.
No kidding.
Went to high school with me. And so all of Lupe's mixtapes before he even blew up were done at this little studio in Chicago called The Attic. So meeting him, he's the most humble person in the world. He didn't smoke. He didn't drink. He prayed every day. He was super disciplined with martial arts and working out. It's like you learn from people like that.
Yeah.
Those are the people you learn from.
The prevailing sentiment in most of the social media that I consume nowadays is all about consistent effort. Waking up every day, doing the same things over and over. And I read a post today that's very true. It's like very successful people are fairly boring, because they do the same things over and over and over again, because that's what actually pushes you towards success. It's not this moment where it's like you break through and all of a sudden you're successful. It's actually, if you have that break, it's because you put in 10 years of hard work behind it, and then all of a sudden something happens, right? Yeah.
And with that, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, I'd agree with that. Like, it looks like sometimes the stuff he has going on, like it's just like luck or by chance. It's like, no, bro, like we put so much time and energy and planning and money and organizing. And like, we literally talk about this stuff. Like me and him get on a call almost every morning at like 6 to 7 a.m. and handle like our goals for the day. Like, what are we trying to achieve with this group right now? What do we need to accomplish today? We lay him out. Some things he might need from me. I might need some things from him. We might need some things from Bob, but we're working on it. Like you said, it's not just like we're sitting back like, okay.
Yeah. But it's the work that nobody else sees.
A lot of these dominoes are going to start to fall and people are going to be like, oh man, they really have been working on it, So
what's this year look like? The show is in May this year. What's the focus, if you could name it in a couple words or less? Like what's the focus for 2025?
2025 is just create a national database of new energy with the new sound. I want to get everybody hooked on this new sound, and that's the thing. As a band, we're gonna just do it. We're gonna tour, man. We're gonna tour, and we're gonna create more.
There's opportunities. There's songs that are supposed to get placed in some major movies coming up, and
we're working on placements, film placements. Merchandise, of course, but the main thing, man, is just taking the brand across the country and soon the world. And
we're gonna drop the full album instead of doing like the single at a time, like the industry says. We want the people to have the whole album, listen to it from top to bottom. It's a whole story. Listen to the top to bottom. And then when you come to the shows, you'll already be familiar. There's nothing these people are going to hear. They're like, oh, we only heard 2 singles, but we came to see the whole show. We're giving it all to everybody.
Take it.
On the rap shows that I've seen, on the rap concerts I've seen, there's barely any instruments on the stage. You guys sound like you have instruments.
Everything's live.
Everything's live. That's a different experience, no?
Yeah, and we've got some all-star players. We've got Kwan from Steady Flow is the drummer. And then we've got John Byler Dan, who's like huge in the jazz scene around the Peoria area. And we've got this kid, James Jones, out of Danville on guitar now. and then I'm playing bass, and then Mario's singing. There's no like DJ or anything like that. It's all live.
Straight live.
No loop tracks. It's just all go.
All live.
If we gotta go.
That's amazing.
It's so fun.
That puts more pressure on you guys to perform, no?
Especially me coming from a rap hip hop background, so it's different from just uttering lyrics over my pre-recorded track. We doing this live, so I got to be in the groove with it. I got to be in the pocket. I got to be spiritually, physically, and emotionally aligned with the music. So I can't be thinking about nothing else at that time.
And all these songs that you guys are performing, you wrote.
Yeah, I write them.
Yeah.
Well,
when do you find time to do that?
I don't.
He rides around in his car. Like when he's going to the gym in the morning, he'll just be playing.
Just recording stuff on your phone. Then
all the time.
Yeah.
I'll sing a song. I'm like, oh, I like that song. And I'll just keep it and I'll go record it.
That's amazing.
But we actually brought you and whoever, we bought you 4 tickets to the May 24th show for this Temple Live. And like, I thought it was cool. Like I always talk, you know, like, oh, Ticketmaster, rah, rah. But we're actually on a Ticketmaster ticket, which I think is pretty cool. Like, you know, like to have our own. So those are yours to
That's
do
amazing, guys.
with what you want.
Camera. 4 tickets to the show on May. What is it? May
24th. Saturday night at 8
Saturday
p.m.
night, 8 p.m.
We got
doors at 6:30. It's gonna be packed out.
We're hoping.
Yeah.
It's our first show in the Peoria area. We got Cole Hollow opening.
Them boys cold.
They're on fire right now.
Them boys cold, man.
Yeah.
We got Billy Fox, and my artist Ari's gonna sing one of her new singles. She's a rapper, but she's singing for this show. And then my boy E Kim is a DJ. So we're just trying to mix it up with multi genres. And then Mario Canon's Wasteland. We're gonna get to it, and people are gonna see how it goes down. That's a gorgeous place too. So I
will have 4 of my people, if not myself, compete at this show. I'll make it a point to be there.
Yeah.
Neiman Marcus is hosting too.
Oh yeah, from 90.7.
Okay.
You know, Marcus Hamilton, the operations manager over at 90.7 Strictly Hip Hop. He's the MC for the night.
What's his stage name?
Mark Supreme.
Mark Supreme, that's it. I know Mark Supreme.
You know Mark Supreme?
Yeah, I
that's
know
my
boy.
Yeah, that's my boy.
Shout out Mark Supreme.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Peoria's gonna show up, man. I believe that.
We're gonna head over to Rick's show in the morning over at 99.9 sometime, and we'll do another ticket giveaway over there and an interview with him. So he's checking out the album as well. So
that's incredible.
We're just trying to oversaturate ourselves real quick before the show. But mainly we want you to get the album, listen to it.
Yes.
And hopefully it makes you want to come see the show.
What's one thing you guys want to leave the people with? If you could say, this is what you're all about. Speak to the camera. Mario Canon, Dee Mill.
I'm all about this being the best possible version of yourself. I believe in the Stoics. I believe in making sure that whatever happens in your life, don't just react. Sit back, because life's going to go on whether, you know, no matter what. That's the number one rule. So to sit back and think about the next decision you're going to make, put together a plan, and don't look at anybody else's journey, because your journey is just your journey, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody else is on a different trajectory. So be powerful, man. You already know. Let's get it.
I would say, you know, right now it's important for, I think, people to, you know, get close with loved ones, spend as much time as you can with the people that are close with you, you know, cherish those relationships, cherish that time, because once it's gone, it's gone. And, you know, and also I would tell people to, like, be real conscious of what's going on right now. You know, they're trying to, you know, pull people in different directions and get people fighting and feuding and arguing. And like, that's not what humanity is really about. You know what I mean? Like, but pay attention to those people that are feeding into that stuff, and just wake up and, you know, just treat your neighbors better, treat yourself better, you know, put that out every day.
I love it, D. Wasteland is how many songs right now?
12.
12 songs.
Yeah.
And you wrote all the songs?
Absolutely.
Excuse me.
So there's a team of producers and collaborators that he worked with all over the United States, in LA, Las Vegas, Phoenix, Dallas, basically every major city that he travels and tours in. He was spending time in studios, and then brought the finished products to Eric E over at Eclipse in Bloomington. And Eric's been doing a lot of the engineering and putting the final touches on everything. And Mario's been going over there like once, twice a week, putting in hours. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of
work.
What's the track that you're most proud of?
Wow. You would say that. I really enjoy Star Baby. And the reason why I like Star Baby is because it's one of those energetic, triumph, like workout arena songs that I never thought I would make. I just happened to make it. I was just in the car and I was like, this is it. I was just singing, humming this lyrics, and they came out, because usually I just hum the sounds what I like. But Star Baby is incredible because it's exciting.
Yeah.
And I have like 10 different flows and styles on there, so it's cool.
And let's go to like, you mentioned working out again, and you own the Anytime Fitness?
Yeah, Lincoln, yeah.
In Lincoln. Is it easy for you to move into different patterns of business, knowing that you've kind of conquered, or you've worked in the rap industry, you've worked in the acting industry? Is business outside of that similar in a sense? Yeah,
for sure. Absolutely. It actually helps me a lot because it gives me the ability to adapt and deal with failure easy, like rejection, like when things don't go as planned or something like that, there's any setbacks. It doesn't bother me. I'm super poised in those situations. As before, as a new business owner, you would probably freak out, or it's the end of the world, or you're running around like, what am I going to do? and now things happen, I'm like, oh, well, how long is it going to take for me to get that fixed or done?
Yeah.
All right, cool. We got a plan for that. Next.
It's the maturity, like being seasoned.
Yeah.
Man, the problems that I had in month one, in year one of a business versus year 5, it's the same problems, but it's just you handle them so much differently because you've done it so many times.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. Absolutely.
And then preparing to actually not have those problems in the future is the next step, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I don't hear a lot of people in your guys' industry talk about business outside of the industry.
Yeah.
Is that something unique as well, where you're diving into these different sectors?
Yeah, because I love talking about the entrepreneurship and even on the motivational side, right? And so that's something that I enjoy doing on that side.
What do you speak about when you go motivational speaking across the country?
I speak about mindset and action goals and pretty much triumph. So, but my main focus is a mindset hack. And then once we become that, and I teach being stoic. I really talk about stoic and confidence. Mm-hmm. How to walk in and own a room. As you said earlier, when I walked in, you said, "Dude, you had a presence."
Yeah,
I do that on purpose. Like but I don't do it on purpose because I'm confident in who I am. That's what it is. I'm just me. This is what you're gonna get. That's what it is.
Teach other people to pull that out of them. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
In the beginning, when I wear tiger striped everything all the time, so I've worn ridiculous pants and outfits and stuff. And in the beginning, it's like it almost feels weird to do that, right? But then I'm like, no, this is who I am. I'm going to step out and be this person. And if people respect that, I can find them and pull them part of my crowd. A part of maturity is also knowing that not everybody's going to be in your in your corner.
Yeah,
and being okay with that.
Yeah, it's lonely.
It is lonely at times.
Very lonely. So, yeah.
Dee, with your music producing career, what do you look for when you find artists? Because there's a lot of people that probably approach you and say, "Hey, I got music.
Every day.
I got this."
Every day.
What do you look for people that are going to be more successful?
Well, nowadays it's easier for me to disqualify artists right off the bat, and they don't even know it. Like they're sitting down with me, they talk for 10 minutes straight, and everything they say is the wrong thing. I just know personally.
What is the wrong thing?
Just thinking that anything's going to come to you easy, like it's going to be lucky, or that you don't have to like put in hard work, or that you don't have to invest money in yourself to get the results you want. Like, you know, you got to, like they say, you got to spend money to make money. There's a lot of things. Just coming and sitting in a chair and promising me that you're going to be the next to blow. If I had $1 for every time I heard that, you know what I mean? It's not the truth, because I have a really good friend who never stops working because it takes that to go where we're going. You know what I'm saying? And not everybody's cut out for that. And so I can have a conversation and say, I don't have the time to invest in you because you don't have that. And some people you can't teach that to, right? They either have it or they don't. And then the other thing is some people just are not grateful for the things that you do. And so when they get in the industry with somebody like me or somebody like Mario, and that these things happen quick for them because me and him are at a different level. You're not starting at garage band status, you know what I'm saying? But so then they become ungrateful because they're so used to these things happening. But then you're like, well, that's us that's happening. So they become where they think they could go on their own, and they kind of forget like the path that we're trying to set for them, and then they go out on their own. And then I just try to avoid that. If I know you're going to end up there, like we should just not even start this. That's what I've learned. But
was there a point, Mario, in your career where, because humility, I think gratitude comes from humility. Mm-hmm. Was there a point where you were really humbled in life, where you felt like you were at rock bottom and you had to work yourself back up?
Yeah, I want to say, honestly, when I had just came back to the area, I was back to Midwest. I was living in St. Louis, and I had just came back, living in Illinois, and I ended up homeless for a little bit. I was actually sleeping in my car. I was sleeping on my friend's couch. And
this was after coming back from LA?
This is like earlier in my music career.
I see.
Right before I started doing shows with like Montana 300 and things like that. It was right before then. But right before then, I was actually homeless. And then I was sleeping in my car, and then I was trying to finesse like motels and stuff until I got my paycheck from work. So I was at the lowest point, and I was still dropping videos. But I just lost my brother, and it was a crazy time for me. I was like, dude, I've never been this low in my life. Like literally, like I walk to work every day, rain, snow, hot, whatever. And I was like, I'm still going to do this rap stuff. And I was still drop video. You would have never knew I was broke or homeless. Yeah. I was still in the studio.
Wow.
Still recording. I knew that studio bill was going to be paid before anything. Right.
Where were you working at the time to afford these things?
AT&T.
Yeah.
I was slanging phones.
Yeah. I come from the Verizon world.
So. Oh, really? So you know the deal, man.
I know the deal.
So the mental health on that job is crazy work. You got to have some mental fortitude to do that.
You do.
Yeah, it's a tough job.
It is. It's standing on their feet all day, talking to people. But retail sales teaches you about human beings.
Yes.
Which is a good starter pack to learning how people operate.
Yeah, I learned a lot of stuff. Yeah, for sure.
So you're working at AT&T. You're walking to work every day from a motel.
Yeah.
And then you're like still dropping, when you say dropping videos, you're dropping music videos?
Absolutely.
Where are you recording these videos at?
In the hood. Going back to my hometown, man. I'm going back to Springfield, or I'm recording them in Lincoln, anywhere where I can get a videographer to come and give me a good deal.
And so did one of these videos pop off at one point?
What happened was, I started, I linked up with another artist locally, and we started doing our thing. He was from Peoria, and we started getting it cracking. And honestly, that led up to me linking up with Montana 300. And from there on out, I went viral a few times, and then we started doing our own shows locally. And they were very, very successful shows. Very successful.
That's going to be a crazy transition to go from AT&T, walking to work every day. A couple of videos pop up. You're like, let's do a show.
Yeah.
You show up to the show. Hundreds of people are there, maybe thousands.
Yeah, we did some big shows. I ain't gonna lie, man. As for independent local acts, man, we did our thing on the show side. Seriously.
What's the most important thing for getting a show to be successful?
It's marketing and getting sales, right? And making sure that people are excited to come see you. Mm-hmm. That's all, man. Getting real support and not relying on your family. Strangers are gonna be your number one supporters. And not to take a shot at my family, but you really have to have real support and get people excited. So.
Organization and don't cut corners.
No, cut corners ain't gonna do
it. What's the quickest way to cut corners that would be sabotage your show?
Don't hire a real sound guy. Don't hire a real lighting company. Don't hire a real security, like all those things.
That's just money that takes away from your pocket.
Well, you want to invest in those things. You want the show to look as great as possible.
So do those things.
Yeah, if it costs you $1,000 for a sound guy that's going to bring, pro lights and pro sound, spend that money. Make the show look good. Don't cut corners. If it comes to like the safety of your patrons, hire a licensed and bonded security staff that's going to be able to handle a crowd, if anything, so people feel safe. Like, just don't cut corners. We've gone into some crazy environments for shows, Todd. Have we not?
I've been to some shows, man.
Bro, we've walked into some stuff, and it's just like, whoa.
I'm thankful that I was able to, be in those areas and do my thing, but there were some times I wonder if I was gonna make it out them things, man. So it was kind of rough. I was in some hard hitting territory, especially in the Chicago area. I was in the trenches, but I was showing love. I was still rapping about peace and unity and bringing people together, but I'm in the trenches. Like, what is this dude trying to tell us to do? I don't shut up.
But they're still going to give him respect because of what he's done in the industry. And that's the thing that's, for sure. Again, the respect is going to be there because nobody else can say, hey, we did this, we did that, we did that.
Yeah.
Tell me a story about your music impacting somebody either messaging you or coming to you in public and saying like, yo, your music has changed my life?
Man, I got this guy. I was on TikTok, and I don't really do TikTok like that because I'm just not. I don't know. I like TikTok, but then I just don't be on it like that. But anyways, I just happened to hop on this TikTok live thing, and this guy was following me. He's a really, really good dude from New York, and he was going through some things, and he reached out to me, wrote me this long letter saying how like I had this song called "Rich in Pain," and I had another one too that he really liked, and he just wrote me this long letter, said how my song changed his life and how humble I am, and thank you for responding to him on the live and stuff. And it was just crazy. I don't know this guy from McKenna Pate. Now he's like my number one dude. Like before I even drop anything, he's already commenting. Like he even he's used my songs for his kids' highlights for their football games. And this dude's in New York, right? But it's crazy that this guy was going through something, and my music gave him a mental fortitude and that he could pull through what he was going through. And he's gonna watch this as though I'm talking about him because I consider him a good friend actually now. Like I talk to him, and his kids and stuff, and then whenever I get time, I'll let them FaceTime me now and everything. It's dope because we just connected like that.
That's amazing.
But even I didn't know him from nothing but just TikTok. He could have been, somebody crazy, but no, he was just a regular dude with some regular real problems that he felt like my music touched him in some sort of way. So it was powerful.
That song, "Rich and in Pain," is that about essentially becoming famous and then still hurting after?
Yeah, it's about being rich. It's kind of like the title is kind of self-explanatory almost a little bit because you're just rich in pain. I think everybody feels like they're rich in pain, but we really don't have it that bad. But yeah, rich in pain is definitely exactly what the title is. I'm having an abundance of pain to deliver. So yeah, it was very poetic. It was really good. So
I feel like that's a common theme across music when people get rich and famous. And there's a Post Malone song, something similar, where it's like, yeah, just the once you get to a certain point in music and in acting, there's probably some hollowness to it.
Yeah,
it's like this
absolutely.
is not what it's made out to be.
Everything in entertainment can be like that. Like anything that's when you're directing masses of people and garnering attention, and you have groups around you that are doing the same thing. A lot of that stuff feels empty and hollow. Even from when you see all these big speakers and these big influencers and stuff, and they all get together. Like some of that stuff, man. Some people they're chasing the next feeling, but it's what is the purpose? Like how much money do you need, or how much fame and the notoriety do you need?
It's almost like a drug in and of itself, where you're chasing that first high. In a sense, to keep on going and get bigger and bigger.
Wow, how much is enough, man?
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, man, and I just learned to be humble, and humility really has helped me a long way. Just being from the Midwest, honestly, I'm very thankful for being from here because you get to meet some real people who really care.
Yeah.
So
I feel like this album kind of speaks to a lot of those things he's talking about, like the rise and then the level off and then like the humility part. It's all these songs, like if you listen to it from top to bottom.
I don't really hear that from most people though. What I hear from most artists, and this is not to throw shade, what I often hear is almost like they get super puffed up once they make it to a certain level. And then it becomes something where they almost have to trump themselves as they keep going up.
Yeah.
It can be if you choose that route. There's guys that are out just doing viral stuff every day. It has nothing to do with their music, just to stay relevant on social media. It's like, that seems like a horrible place to be at where, like we just want people to like our music.
Yeah, it's almost like people forget where they come from. In a sense, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I think
like you said, it's addictive. It can be addictive like that itself. Feeling.
Are playing shows in front of thousands of people, is that like the biggest rush you can have?
Yeah, it's a heck of an adrenaline push. You don't even see I think one of the biggest shows I did with Twista, it was two of them, but one in particular was the Tacos and Tequila Festival, and with Ludacris and P.D. Pablo and all those guys, and Bobby Valentino was there as well. But I tell you what, I think it was 40,000 people or something like that. It was like insane, like something really big like that. I might be exaggerating a little bit on the numbers, but it was like that big, right? But the lights were so big. I get on stage, and you can go to my TikTok or my Instagram. You'll see it. I had on like yellow pants. And people were saying my name. I couldn't see nothing. Those lights are in your face. You don't, and it's like Twista is bringing me on stage in the middle of a set, dude. Like Twista is bringing, like, my mind is blown. I'm like, I'm shaking, bro. I'm trying to like get some rhythm because I really ain't got that much rhythm. I'm a big dude. I'm kind of stiff. But anyways, I'm walking out there, and I'm like, hold on, forget my lyrics. Because this guy's bringing me on. This is a sea of people, and all you see is like little dots and these big lights. Whatever the lights are, they're just hitting you in the face. So that kind of saves you. But then you don't want to fall off the stage either. But I was nervous because that was just too crazy. And then the crowd they were awesome. Everybody was great. But I'm on the other side now. I'm not in the crowd no more, and it was amazing. I want to thank God for that moment, man. Yeah. That's something I'll never forget, and I always tell my kids.
So after the show, when people are, I'm sure, coming up like trying to get introduced you and stuff, what's that experience like when you got all your fans out there and you're communicating with them?
That's the second part of it, right? Because now you just get off stage, and now you're like kind of like a big shot for a little bit. Yeah. So people, they don't care if they know who you are. They want a picture with you. Like, I got to get a picture with him because he looks famous. He was just on stage with Twista. So then it's like, and then some people end up, really rocking with the music and really engaging with you,
He's really engaging with his fans though too. He responds to everything like on social media. He's always responding to comments and giving individual love to and the same way when we're out at shows, like those kids come up and they want an autograph, he's definitely giving it to them.
Absolutely. Yeah. Even the haters, like even when like people hate online or something, I'll just say something cool back. Like,
thanks for the love, family.
I'll be like, thanks for the love, bro. I'm glad you checked me out, family. Man, too bad you ain't like that one. I got you the next one. You can't I don't know, man.
You're not gonna please everybody.
No, man. And you if you got to say something bad about me on my thing, you just probably take it. You don't really feel like that about me because you don't even know me.
That's the stoic nature of what you're talking about, though, right?
You don't even know me. It's all good.
Yeah, and that's okay. So 2025 shows coming up. Is there any more acting in your future?
Yes, I'm currently reading scripts right now. I can't put the business out there for the shows I'm reading for right now, but definitely I'm active right now, doing my thing in acting.
You can't put the shows out, but they were mentioned previously in this interview.
Maybe.
No,
Maybe
man.
Not.
He don't know what he's talking about.
Is there you guys are talking about music all the time. Obviously, Dee, you're into music and producing and stuff. For acting, are you sitting at home in your mirror looking at yourself, trying to act back and forth and facial expressions and
Absolutely
tones?
not.
No. How do you practice acting then?
You just do it. I just do it. I had some acting classes before, and I've had monologues I've practiced and had to recite, and so I'm not bad, I'm not too bad, I don't think, but I'm always working on music, so that I think that's good enough.
Are you trying to use your acting career to further your music career then?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But I do love the art of entertainment. So acting is cool. Like, me and my daughter are getting ready to do some short films now. So yeah.
Switching gears, what's the for fitness is obviously something you're super passionate about.
Yeah.
Are you looking at other businesses or trying to work your way into other entrepreneurial endeavors?
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. But it's all going to be synergistically around health and fitness.
I see.
I don't want to because I'm going to stick to what I know. Right, and things I can control, and having an educated opinion on. So it's all going to be based around fitness and real estate for sure.
I feel like supplements have become such a huge thing in the past couple of years.
Absolutely.
Like Mario Canon's pre-workout,
Canon Pre.
Canon Pre.
For sure. Strawberry.
Supplements and vitamins. Are you serious launching that?
No, I was just, okay. We could talk later. We already got a business plan together.
I love it, dude. I find that with entrepreneurs all across the country that I meet, very successful people, that once you get into one thing, the methods that you use to get to that point are so applicable to so many different things, but also not getting too outside of the vein. So I'm in construction, right? And we get into different construction things, but I don't want to open up a car wash if I don't know everything about a car wash, right? You can lose your butt in business if you're not careful. Have you? You've done a car wash?
No, I've jumped into things I shouldn't have and lost my butt because, my appetite was bigger than what I could handle.
Yes.
So, and you got to stay in your lane, like you said. So
well, it's kind of what Dee said earlier about investing in the right things and not cutting corners. For business, it's very much the same thing. Where you think that when you get into an industry, there's this optimism, I can make a bunch of money doing this. And then you get knee deep in it and you're losing if you're not careful because you can overinvest in the wrong things. You can not be focused on the right things. And the people that have been in the industry for 10 years are watching you kind of just like laughing because they had to go through that same process. But yeah, it's a learning curve to understand how to move money because it's all about capital allotment towards certain things. Yeah. Our CFO and I talk about that all the time with money is we can do a lot of things with money. You can do a lot of different things, but it's choosing the right return on investment at the right time. That's all of it. And you can't move too fast or too slow. It's this interesting gas and brake pedal. Yeah. Let's go into your daughters. You daughters or daughter and son?
I got a daughter and son.
Daughter and son.
Yeah.
So if you don't mind speaking about that, what's it like being a father?
It's everything. It gives me balance. It gives me purpose. That is my purpose. It's always going to
humility.
Yeah, she does.
Nobody's as humbling as his daughter.
Yeah.
How old is your daughter?
12.
12. What an age.
Yeah, she's got it.
And your son is how old?
15.
15.
Yeah.
And so
freshman.
he's becoming a man.
Yeah, he's hooping. He's doing his thing.
Good basketball player.
Oh yeah.
It's incredible.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Do you go to his games?
All of them if I can.
Yeah.
As long as I'm not like on the road or something.
He's a pretty good player.
Yeah. He got MVP of the freshman tournament in Lincoln. So,
that's incredible.
Yeah, he's a little guard. Yeah.
What did becoming a father like instantly change your life?
Slowly it did. Because at first I was still kind of, still finding myself as a man. But eventually, it definitely took a turn on me and kept me away from harm's way, actually, because I didn't have time, idle time as like I used to be indulging in things that would potentially shorten my lifespan. So, yeah, it changed my heart and it changed my perspective and perception on things. And that's why, I became more stoic for them.
What age did they come up, like in your life, did that happen? Was there like a moment where something happened in your personal life where it was like, I gotta shift into this different mindset?
I think, not to get on that subject, but I think I lost everyone around me. Like, every last one of my I call them my brothers, my cousins, I lost them to the streets, to violence in Springfield. And after, taking so many losses like that, it could either affect you one way. You can use it to be less resourceful, or you can use it to be resourceful. So, and I used it as an opportunity to try to do better and change the trajectory, and maybe make my family. I will never fill that void, but at least give them something to look forward to. After taking those types of losses, because you can't. There's nothing that's going to bring that back, but. Maybe I can change the trajectory for the future. I'm
sure your vision of your own kids as you went through those funerals and those difficult times shifted to be like, man, these are my kids. Like, yeah. Because it was back to back. Like, it was crazy, man. It was, for sure. Wow. Yep. Now, Dee, I know you've lost a family member as well. Yeah. And that experience, I'm sure, is sticks with you to this day. To this day, I'll never be the same. I'll never forget the details of it. But one thing. You mentioned earlier about like inspiring people through the music or whatever, but my story, not my music, just people reaching out and being like, everything you've been through is inspiring to see you pick up and see you guys, progressing and see your friend's journey and see how much you still wake up every day and you don't like lay down. Like, I don't know how you do it. Those people reach out and say that I'm inspiring them, that like they're cheering for me. And then I realized like it's bigger than that. But yeah, man, I'll never be the same after that. But it's I still have my 19-year-old. He lives with me. He's like my roommate. And then I have a daughter who lives in the Heights too, Layla. She's 22. Fantastic. Yeah. And being a father has changed you as well. I mean, you're
Definitely, man.
You've got older kids now. It's probably a different experience becoming friends with your own kids.
But like I lived a real like kind of a Puritan life when I was around my kids, because like I got my son really early, and like I didn't, like my son never saw me like drunk or on drugs, or like he just saw me like coaching his little league team. And again, it's humbling. Your kids humble you the most. Like I could tell them, I just recorded a song with Jay-Z, and they'd be like, yeah, and like, you know what I mean? That's just kids, but it definitely changed my habits and my lifestyle, and probably extended my life as well. You know? But
I just played in a pickleball tournament this last weekend. I'm a big pickleball player and fan of the game. I played tennis for 10 years and got into pickleball a couple years ago, and I won first place in a tournament this last weekend. Congrats. And so I come home with the medal, and my daughter's like, I got first place, and she's like, you did? Is it real gold? And I was like, no, it's not real gold. Like, it's a medal, but it's not real gold. So back to the drawing board. But yeah, having kids changes you because you start to see yourself. You also start to see your parents different. I don't know if you guys have experienced this, but you start to see your parents different as you start to raise children, and what they had to sacrifice to get you to the point.
Definitely.
And as a kid, you don't appreciate that enough until you become a parent of your own.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But did you guys still have your parents around?
I lost both mine. I lost my parents 45 days before I lost my son.
Oh, that's right, Dee.
Yeah.
Gosh.
So, but all the good things about how I was raised, like, those are the things that I remember about my dad and what I put into my kids, the camping trips, fishing, hunting, like all those things. Like my dad came from a big outdoors family. So I've been on the water and boating and skiing and all that stuff. And my kids were raised the same way.
It's the simple things in life, man. Yeah. It's the simple things that we remember.
Having a very active male role model, even though he wasn't my real dad, my adopted dad, he put everything into me. So it's like, he was one of my best friends, you know? So that was tough as well. But again, like, people find inspiration from my story.
100%.
About it. That's all I can say about it.
The Peoria music scene, as you guys see it, if you can encapsulate it, and I know you guys have both been across the country many times, different cities, how would you articulate the Peoria music scene versus the others?
Well, Peoria is kind of like a weird, unique little market because we're not quite a big city, but we're big enough, And what I've seen over the last several years is that there's been more and more venues. Everybody wants music, but there's not necessarily the amount of people to fill all these places. Like in the 90s, early 2000s, Peoria's music scene it seemed like it was crazy, but then there was only SOPs downtown. That was the late night 4:00 bar. Now you have 3 4:00 options. You have 10 2:00 options. You have 15 1:00 options. So what I see is it's a great area for artists to get their skin wet and play gigs. There's lots of places to play gigs, but it can be,
a good jumping off point
just to get some experience. But I like, as far as building like a huge fan base, I just don't think that, I feel like it's a little bit oversaturated.
Sure.
Kind of, but I think that's just the economics of the area we live in.
For sure.
A lot of people have left Illinois. It's affected all businesses.
Right.
And then I think that also, one of the things about it, I think people are not choosing those life choices as much, so they're not going out to bars every weekend. They're finding other things to do. So I think that venues that are doing things like having, maybe they're having like a cannabis themed event, or maybe they're having like a non-alcoholic event. Those seem to be, there's just different things going on that I've just noticed a lot of change in the area. People are, I don't know, it's just a weird time here.
It is.
Like there's always stuff going on, but you go to a lot of these shows that seems like, where's all the people? It's like, well, there's 10 shows going on in Peoria right now at this time.
Working with, once you get into the arena of bigger music, like Did you have to work with Ticketmaster to produce some of this stuff and like the executives from some of these other companies?
We didn't. The venue. I'm assuming they have a deal with them, but
Okay.
yeah. Well, I don't have.
Okay.
That was the venue, but
when you try, I guess going back to what we were talking about earlier about the music industry seeming pretty small. Once you get into that kind of arena, do you just start to kind of flourish within these other places? That what I'm trying to say is this: is like I feel like once you get into a certain circle, people can put you on. It's all about promotion and putting you on in certain places.
Yeah.
Is that kind of what happens? It's the natural blossoming of like you get in with one person, he passes you to another, and then you just start to multiply.
kind of. But what I find is that you want to develop your own fan base. Like you want to build real fans. You don't
Across
want
the
to.
country.
You don't want to really lean on somebody. But like what I'll do with like him or any artist is check out their Spotify numbers, see where they're streaming. Like if they're streaming most of their streams in Dallas, Texas, then we want to go to Dallas, Texas. We have lots of listeners there. You know,
So what's the number one spot for you?
Chicago is what I just saw the other day when I looked up his. But I mean, yeah, I think Melbourne, Australia was on there. You know,
Sounds like you guys are going international.
I mean,
It's a long flight.
Absolutely.
Fellas, thanks so much for coming on, man. It's been a pleasure. This has been, when I was looking forward to this interview from last week, because Dee contacted me, I started doing some research about you, Mario,
Yeah.
and I'm thankful you came and took the time to be here.
Thank you for
It's
having me,
been an
man.
honor to have you.
Thank you.
An
Thank
honor
you.
to have you both.
appreciate it.
All right, boys. This has been the Tiger Den. See you guys next time.